Good afternoon. My name is Tangi Hogger, and today I will be doing a presentation on Evelyn Boyd Granville. Early life. Evelyn was born May 1st, 1924 in Washington, D.C. to William and Julia Boyd. Evelyn's father, William, was a custodian, and unfortunately for Evelyn, her father wasn't in her life growing up, so she was raised by her mother, Julia, and her mother's sister. Boyd attended Dunbar High School, a segregated high school at the time located in Washington, D.C., where she graduated with honors as the valedictorian. Although Dunbar was a segregated school, it was also looked at as one of the more prestigious segregated schools. They didn't go lacking like some of the other segregated schools did. In fact, some of their employers there were also basically top of the line educators as well, who had received degrees from some of the most American accredited schools like Yale University. Upon completing high school, Evelyn decided to continue her education by enrolling in Smith College with the help of a partial scholarship from Phi Beta Kappa. Evelyn graduated summa cum laude in 1945 and was elected to Phi Beta Kappa. Career. Evelyn completed her graduate studies at Yale University. Her doctoral work concentrated on functional analysis, and her dissertation was entitled On Lagrange Series in the Complex Domain. Upon receiving her PhD in mathematics in 1949, Evelyn was elected to the Scientific Honorary Society, Sigma Xi. Evelyn was the second African American woman to receive a PhD in mathematics. After receiving her PhD, Evelyn went on to complete a year of postdoctoral research at New York University's Institute of Mathematics and Science. Because of housing discrimination, Evelyn was forced to live with one of her mother's friends. This was the first time that Evelyn was ever discriminated on based on her ethnicity and her gender as well. Evelyn accepted a position as the Associate Professor of Mathematics at Fisk University, a black college in Nashville, Tennessee. After 2 years of teaching, Granville went to work for the Diamond Ordnance Fuse Laboratories as an applied mathematician. Evelyn continued her work at the laboratory for 4 years. From 1956 to 1940, she worked for IBM on the Project Vanguard and Project Mercury space programs, analyzing orbits and developing computer procedures. On a trip to Los Angeles, Evelyn met her first husband, Reverend Collins. After meeting Reverend Collins, they decided to get married, and Evelyn decided to relocate to Los Angeles. After moving to Los Angeles, Evelyn started a career working at Computation and Data Reduction Center of the U.S. Space Technology Laboratories, where she studied rocket projectiles and methods of orbit computation. In 1962, she became a research specialist at the North American Aviation Space and Information Systems Division. The following year, Evelyn returned to IBM as a senior mathematician. In 1967, Evelyn began teaching again at California State University after reconstruction at IBM. So what happened at IBM was they decided to relocate, which caused a lot of the jobs that they had to go to different cities. Evelyn didn't want to go. So instead of leaving with IBM, Evelyn decided to start teaching again. In 1967, Evelyn began teaching again at California State University. She was disappointed in the mathematics preparedness for her students, so she began working to improve mathematics education at all levels. So basically, Evelyn, because of all the experience that Evelyn had in the teaching so far, and based on how she was taught growing up, Evelyn felt as though the students didn't know or didn't have the skills that they needed in order to be successful in the math department there. Throughout the mathematics enrichment program, which she directed, Evelyn developed a program that provided after-school classes for kindergarten through fifth grade students. With the help of a colleague, Granville wrote Theory and Application of Mathematics for Teachers in 1975. Basically, what this book was that Evelyn wrote with her colleague is it worked as a study guide or just a guide of how she and her colleague thought that teachers were supposed to teach and how she felt the environment to learn should have been. A second edition was published in 1978, and the textbook was used at over 50 colleges. Okay, that's another slide. But I do have more information. After Granville decided to write the book with her colleague, she did continue on teaching until she met her second husband. After she met her second husband, then she retired to Texas, where she just basically, if you want to say, lived the American dream, where she just went and relaxed, and her husband raised chickens. And even though, based off the information that I provided, Evelyn overall, she came off to me as the type of woman that, although she had many contributions in not just the world of mathematics but to computer programming as well, when you look back on her accomplishments, the only accomplishment that she really acknowledged was the fact that she was a woman and that she proved that African American women can be successful as well. And that perception that I got from Evelyn, it means a lot because, again, you have so many people who just focus on what they're going to do, how they're going to get a knowledge for what they do, and that's not what the case should always be about. It should always be about how you can encourage the next person and not getting the credit for it all the time. Well, that concludes my presentation. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.